All right. So, another topic. And this one, don't know that it's necessarily about men- your mental capacity or keeping your stress down, but it is something that bothers the hell out of me. And I don't really know per se how you could avoid this one, but I can tell you some tricks to get through it that are absolutely, in my opinion, wonderful. And make things a little bit easier. So, what the hell am I talking about? Most creatives have a hard time with this one, sitting in meetings. I hate meetings. Anybody who knows me, anybody who's worked with me, knows I'm not a person who likes being in meetings. Don't get me wrong. I know you need them. I know you want to tell me stuff. I know we need to get stuff done. That's great. Let's do it. I don't need to have a meeting every day for an hour or 30 minutes or 2 hours just so that somebody can hear themselves talk. And that's what creatives deal with a lot is sitting in meetings, listening to other people that might be higher than you in position or the same position as you talk and throw out ideas and get absolutely nowhere. And what does that do to you as the creative? It does stress you the hell out because then you're left with all these ideas that came from all these different places and none of them often make sense because the people giving the ideas or the people doing all the talking usually aren't creatives. They're just people that give you direction and say, go do your job now that we've had a meeting. One of the things that I found that works when going to a meeting, especially a long meeting, um, one, make sure if you know you have a meeting coming up, get sleep the night before, the day before, whatever it is. You don't want to go into a meeting tired or you're already going to be aggravated because you're going to be like this the whole time. And it's going to be extremely hard to stay awake and listen no matter what's being said. Two, if you're a coffee drinker, have coffee. It will help. Or get an energy drink. I drink a lot of them. Being a creative, it's probably not the best thing, but I love them. I can't help it. But get an energy drink. Get something to sip on. Drink water. Just do something that keeps you moving a little bit because just remaining in one spot and just listening to people talk, you're going to do this every time. Every time. I promise you. That's what you're going to do. I've done it before. I've fallen asleep in a meeting. It's not the best look. Another thing that you can do is stay engaged. When all these ideas and things are being tossed around that you may not want to listen to because you already probably had a direction that you thought was going to work or you know it's going to work, but you still have to listen to the feedback, listen to it. Stay engaged and give feedback to the people in the meeting. Because oftentimes what we feel like as creatives is we just need the project and we can get moving. And a lot of times that can happen. But when you have other people funding a project or paying for a project or not knowing what's going on in here for you, they have a certain sense of stress that they develop because they're not sure. Maybe they haven't worked with you before, or maybe this is a new project, it's a big account, and they just need to know that you're on their side. And that's more what it is. And that's what I found to be true is it's not that people want to put you through meetings for countless hours because they have stuff to do too. They really just want to know that everybody that's in these meetings is at some point going to have an idea or something to say, or that you just understand what the hell is being said. Stay engaged in your meetings. Give feedback. Throw out solutions, not problems. Even if there is a problem with what's being said, try to find a solution. before you bring up the problem. Because this is oftentimes what happens. If you go to video meetings or you go to any graphic meeting, this is what happens is, how are we going to approach this account? That's the general question that's asked. And you sit there and you look around the room and you're like, not my job. You tell me what to do and I'll do it. Well, it is your job, because chances are you can probably do the job of a lot of the people sitting in there. You just don't. You could take the idea and create something beautiful, something magical, something that you're happy with, something that makes you feel good when it's turned over. But because you care not to say nothing in a meeting, or you don't want to be engaged, or you just don't want to be there, you say less, thinking that the meeting is going to go quicker. And that crap never happens. You just sit there not saying nothing, boiling inside, because you're like, y'all are all just talking over each other and nobody's listening. Well, if you threw out an idea, maybe it was another idea that they wouldn't listen to, but it could be the idea that sells the room. And I've done that on many of occasions where we've had design pitches that have fallen through, and then at the last minute, I'm just like, well, what if we try this? And it'll be like, JR, why didn't you say this before? Were you holding on to this? And early in my career, yes, I was holding on to it, because I couldn't wait to get out the door and leave the freaking meeting so I can go do what I need to do. Because I just like do my work and then put everything into it and then just wow you that way. Well, if you want to move up in your career, you have to learn how to speak to the room. It's not always about sitting at your computer, doing the work, or being behind the camera. It's not always about that. Don't get me wrong. You want that as an end product. But if you know how to talk to the room, you can sell an idea. So even if it doesn't come out right, at least people know what you were thinking, and then they might have suggestions for how to correct it going forward once they see it. And don't get me wrong, you never want to really have to do the work 1, 2, 3 times. Well, you do want to do it once because you got to do it the first time. But you don't want to do it 2 or 3 times more. But that usually happens too, because there's going to be edits, corrections, and if you ever deal with a team, everybody has their own opinion. But that all falls into the meeting. So how do you get through the meeting? You get through the meeting by staying engaged and giving your feedback. Stay positive, not negative. Give solutions, not problems. Have questions, but also have answers even if they're not the right answers. Because somebody else in the room may have an answer that you don't have to the exact same question. And it may be better than what you were thinking. You just never know. You don't need a creative to have a creative idea. That's something that people don't understand is, I'm a creative, so I have all the creative ideas. No, I've sat in many rooms with people that are creative that can only draw stick figures or couldn't even tell me what a storyboard is, and given me great ideas. And those are the meetings that I've loved. And those are the meetings that I appreciate. But you can never get to those if you don't participate in the meeting that's in front of you. Learn to love the meeting. You'll be in a lot of them over the course of your career, no matter what discipline in the creative world you're in. You will meet with somebody, and you will have to talk to somebody you don't want to talk to. But if you're able to give as much as they give, it's more productive and it's not as painful. Like I always say, make great work, stay creative, whatever that means to you. Keep your stress levels down, because I'm trying to keep mine down, and just work through the meeting. But if you have anything that you want to say to me or any questions that you want to ask, if you reach out to me, I'll respond. I'm not unreachable. But until the next one.